total disappointment. Wouldn't recommend this resort.
Today we are testing that one-star review that Jamie left for the Hyatt Zilara Cap Cana.
And many others from sites like TripAdvisor and Expedia to see if we agree with these one-star reviews. Will these concerning reviews prove to be true or bust? We're about to find out. Heather T wrote on TripAdvisor, "Easily one of the worst experiences I've had. For the price, I was extremely disappointed with this hotel. We paid $690 per night for 2 people in the cheapest room type at the Zilara, the most we've spent in any of our 24 Punta Cana resort stays. Our expectations were very high, and we were specifically trying to determine if it was worth paying this much. We strongly felt it was worth the money at the end of our stay. That's why we scored the Hyatt Zilara 20 out of 20 in the value for money category." The idea of this video is not to dismiss other people's opinions, but to compare them with our own experience and see if the problems they had are common or not, to help you better evaluate this hotel. We consider this review busted. Traveling Live titled their review, "A Week of an Average Frat Party." They wrote, "The downside of this hotel is the guests. They are loud and obtrusive nearly all the time. There are a lot of groups traveling together and partying together. We stayed in the Hyatt Zilara during March, and our experience was pretty much the exact opposite. If I had to describe our fellow guests, the words party, loud, or obtrusive wouldn't come to mind. Hoity-toity is more accurate, but not in a derogatory way. To be honest, I've just wanted to use those words naturally in conversation for a long time. The hotel's high price is a natural filter for groups of young, party-oriented people, since older people often have more disposable income to afford it. The Zilara's amenities and activities are also not party-oriented, so you can't say that the hotel aims to attract party people. Of course, it's possible to coincide with loud and obnoxious guests, but we don't think it's fair to blame the hotel for this. It's just bad luck. We consider this review busted." John S. wrote a review saying, "This is by far the noisiest all-inclusive ever. If you are the type seeking some quiet, you will not get that here. Every inch of this place vibrates with music." We believe this guest refers to the music playing on a speaker in the main pool area. During the day, the music was constant, but the volume was not an issue for us. Whenever we go to a resort, we look for a quiet pool and make it our hangout spot. That's the kind of guest we are, and the music at the Zilara did not bother us. At some point, a duo played live music, which was louder, but this was only for an hour or two and was one of the day's activities. We can see why you would not want music constantly in the background if it's not to your liking, but this is true in all the resorts we've been to, and we wouldn't call this resort especially loud. To his point, if you don't have access to the club level pool, the main pool is the only one you have available, as opposed to bigger resorts where you have more pools to choose from. And more often than not, you'll find a secluded one away from the hustle and bustle. We consider this review true but blown out of proportion. JH3970 wrote, "Would not recommend this resort if you are looking to be treated well and respected. From the minute we got there, we noticed a bit of an attitude from the staff, and it only got worse as our time went on. Our experience was entirely different. The staff was super friendly, attentive, and well-trained in customer service. They went above and beyond to help us out, and the quality of the service added a premium feeling to our experience at this hotel. For example, we asked a management staff member for directions while trying to find the tennis court. She dropped what she was doing and walked with us to find someone who could drive us there, since it was on the Hyatt Ziva's side of the property. The driver took us to the other side and gave us exact directions on how to find the tennis court. This was something simple, but it made us feel special. While speaking to another staff member during our stay, they told us that the hotel has good management that knows how to treat the staff and that the pay is better than other resorts, which shows. This review is 100% busted. CS Hotel 082 wrote, "If you want to feel like you're in the USA, then book this place. It offers no culture and no authenticity to the DR. We love newer, modern-looking Punta Cana resorts and even prefer them. However, we've noticed in a couple of them, as is the case of the Zilara Cap Cana, that you don't feel like you are in the Dominican Republic. The music, the food, the drinks, and the entertainment can feel generic, and the Dominican culture is lost in translation. We don't mean hotels need to include cultural cliches. They only need to remember that what makes Punta Cana unique amongst the many world beach destinations is that it is located in the Dominican Republic. We consider this review true." Marcy makes a wild claim. "The hotel refills the plastic water bottles. I had my suspicions when none of the water bottle tops were sealed. Then, I saw staff collecting and refilling bottles. As I said at the beginning of the video, we don't aim to discount any guest's experience, but this one is so out there that we feel safe saying this is not true. Nevertheless, we made a point of checking the seals of all the water bottles we handled. They were all intact. Giving Marcy the benefit of the doubt, the seals were very thin and didn't make a strong breaking sound when twisting the cap. If someone is not paying close attention, we could see how they might think there is no seal. Staff members collect trash, including water bottles left behind by guests. This could account for Marcy seeing the bottles being collected. When it gets dubious is when she said she saw them refilling them. If they were refilling them, we would assume it would be done off-site at scale, or it would take them forever to fill the thousands of water bottles that are probably consumed daily. The brand of water they use is local and not expensive. It would be more costly for them to refill used water bottles than to buy new ones in bulk from the local bottling company." Marcy's review is busted. This next reviewer writes, "Constant upselling from staff on everything from food to activities. After leaving our belongings in the room after check-in, we were approached on 2 occasions in a matter of minutes and offered an upsell to dine at the new specialty restaurant Blind Butcher. We were ready to brand this claim as 100% true, but then we were not upselled for the rest of our 2-night stay. We consider this review potentially true." Mary wrote, "The room service experience was a series of disappointments. Our orders were consistently mishandled and the wrong wine and food were delivered. We rarely order room service, but we had to put this claim to the test. We ordered a burger, tequeños, a cheesecake, and a bottle of white wine. The food arrived in the estimated time. All the items were what we ordered, and surprisingly, everything tasted very good. Usually, the quality of the room service is not as good as the food in the hotel's restaurant, but this was the case in the Zilara Cap Cana." Mary's review is busted. Barry wrote, "This hotel is attached to the Hyatt Ziva Cap Cana, a family hotel. Some restaurants are on the Ziva side, which is filled with children. While billed as adults only, the fact that Zilara shares facilities with Ziva undermines the adults-only experience that my wife and I wanted. The Ziva and the Zilara are 2 separate resorts. The Ziva is for families and the Zilara is only for adults. They're situated right next to each other and make a W shape on the map. If you're staying in the Zilara, you can use all the amenities of the Ziva and vice versa for adults staying in the Ziva. Furthermore, both resorts share amenities like the theater, sports bar, spa, water park, and gym. If you're looking for an adults-only resort, keep in mind you will run into families at these places. On one of our nights there, Zilara's buffet restaurant was closed for dinner, forcing Zilara guests who wished to dine at the buffet to eat on the Ziva side, which we found unacceptable. Barry's review is true. This reviewer wrote, "We had to wait literally over an hour for lunch and breakfast due to bad service. While we had no issues during lunch or breakfast, we did wait a substantial amount of time for our food at the Indian restaurant. Someone later explained that everything is made to order, and because of the cuisine type, it takes a long time. We were about 5 minutes away from walking away, but we're glad we didn't. This was the best Indian food we've had in a Punta Cana resort, and even better than many Indian restaurants we've visited throughout the world. This review is half true but totally worth it." Now, click on the video on the left to watch when we tested 1-star reviews of the Lopesan, another great Punta Cana resort, or the video on the right for our full review of the Hyatt Zilara Cap Cana.